Welcome to Thursday's Market. SITREP Wiz here, the primary and weekly options model portfolio manager here at TGO. And looks like the relief rally isn't going to be a relief rally. It looks like actually based on the good economic data that we've seen this week, including today, we saw unemployment claims, weekly unemployment claims, essentially come in flat. PCE, some inflation indicators flat. But here's some really good news today. Personal income increased while personal spending remained flat. So people are actually making a little bit more money and spending less. And then pending home sales just blew the doors off of it. So we've seen some surprisingly strong numbers out of housing this week. We saw on Tuesday, we saw the Case-Shiller index do really well, and we saw new home sales. So good news out of housing this week, and just overall surprising macroeconomic data this week. So the market is reacting. As I said earlier in this week, we were going to find out if good news was in fact good news this week and bad news, bad news. Well, it seems that the market is, at least for now, taking good news as good news, okay? And obviously in Bizarro market, the one we've been in for the past 5 years, call it, bad news was actually good news, because any bad economic data meant that the Fed wasn't going to go anywhere, that the Fed had to hang out, do their quantitative easing to prop this market up. But I'm going to tell you, I do not think that the Fed is well, and Dudley, one of the Fed governors, was speaking today. Hey, the taper is probably going to be appropriate later in 2013. Unemployment's going to be about 7% when they end their QE buying. And he said that reducing quantitative easing buying wouldn't mean policy tightening, okay? And that they'd hold on to the assets on their balance sheet, quote, for a long time. None of this is really new. It's not like the Fed is going to wake up one day and say, okay, we're done with $85 billion a month, we're going to zero, and we're dumping all of our mortgage-backed securities and treasuries. I mean, that's just that just doesn't make any sense. But he also did say, there's a great deal of slack in the economy. So be careful right now of what's going on in the market. Obviously, the trend is your friend, and here we are for the past year in the S&P. Really huge move, and obviously we've moved sideways for about a month and a half as we figured out Fed speak. And for the past, couple weeks, we've imploded as we tried to figure out what the Fed was doing, but now we're seeing if this market can flap its wings and fly out of the nest without the Fed. Be very, very careful here, okay? Now, we've had a huge 3-day rally, biggest 3-day rally year to date, okay? So, but I would be leery of saying, right now everything isn't all clear, that everything's great and no problems and we're good to go. There are significant headwinds in the economy, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of volatility through the rest of the year, okay? I think that with Q2 earnings coming up, unless they are super, I don't know if the market goes higher. I think we chop around sideways with these ups, with these downs, because again, if we're out of Bizarro market, which would be an incredible switch. It's almost like a Chicago, spring. It's one day. You go from negative 20 degrees and snow to 110 degrees, right? They have one day of spring. So I don't believe that this market's had all right, bad news is bad news now, good news is good news, we're out of the Bizarro market. So be very careful here trading, folks. And we're going to do a webinar this afternoon at 4:30 after the close to talk through all these issues. So click on the link in this email to register, and also, or just check your email box for some messages from TGO on how to register, because I really do want to talk about this, because this is about the time when retail traders look and go, hey, I guess game back on, let's put our rally hats back on, and then a week from now we absolutely implode. Okay, so we really do need to be safe in this market. We need to be hedged and always looking for an exit. But don't get me wrong, if this is going to be a rally here, it's going to be a hold your nose rally where you trade it higher and then always be looking and making sure you got an ejection seat. All right, got to run, got to trade, and I'll talk to you guys after the close today. We'll see you.